Hey boys and girls, today I'm going to tell you the story of Noah's Ark. Before I start the story, I want to ask you guys a question. And that question is, have any of you guys ever done anything wrong? Or disobeyed your mom and dad, or disobeyed God, or disobeyed your teachers, or anyone? Have any of you guys ever done that? The answer is yes. We all have done something wrong and disobeyed our parents. An example of this is if your mom or your dad ask you to pick up your toys after you've been playing with your toys, but you don't really feel like it, and you feel like going to play one of your video games or going to watch TV, and so you choose to not listen to them and to go do something else. That is an example of disobeying them, and that makes God very sad. And just like that makes God sad, also in the story that we're talking about today, God was also sad because man on the earth, they were also disobeying God, and they were living a life of sin. And does anyone know what sin is? Sin is anything we think, we say, or we do that's displeasing to the Lord. And these people were sinning, and they were making God very, very sad. And so because of this, God regretted making man. And so he decided that he was going to flood the whole earth, and that he was going to send rain on the earth, and it was going to flood the whole thing. But he found favor in one man, and that man was Noah. And so God told Noah that he was going to make a covenant between him, that he was going to have Noah build an ark. And an ark is a very, very large boat. And keep in mind that during this time, they had never had rain before. God had never sent rain before. And so most people would look at that and be like, why are you building a boat? You're crazy. Why do you need that? They didn't understand God's plan because they weren't listening to God. And so Noah, being the man that he was and loving the Lord so much, he listened to God, and he built that boat. And every day, even though there were so many times where people were making fun of him or laughing at him, saying, oh, you're so crazy, Noah. You think there's going to be a flood and then it's going to rain. And regardless of that, Noah still listened to God and still did what he was told. And God told Noah that he was to bring 2 animals of every kind of animals, a male and a female, and bring those on the ark. That is why the ark needed to be so large. And so Noah, he did that. And so then God opened the heavens, and the rain started falling on the earth after Noah had built the ark, and all the animals were on the ark. And it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and the whole earth was flooded. And all those people that were making fun of Noah and thinking that he was crazy for obeying God were wrong. And everything that was living except for Noah and his family and the animals that were on the ark were dead, and they were no longer because they didn't listen to God. And so we see that when you listen to the Lord, and when you love the Lord so much, he protects you and he honors that. And okay, so then after that, after 40 days and 40 nights of rain, can you guys imagine that? That would be a very long time of rain. After a few days here when it's raining, I get a little tired of it. Can you imagine being on the boat surrounded by water, no land, no place to stop, and it just raining? And then after that, after it stopped raining, they were still just in the boat for a very long time. And finally, God made it where the water started residing. And Noah sent out a raven, and the raven came back. And then Noah waited 7 days, and he sent out a dove. And the dove was out for a while, but then he came back with a piece of leaf in his mouth. And that told Noah that there were residing waters, and there was a tree or something that he had gotten that off of. And then 7 days later, he sent out the dove again, and the dove was out till evening, and then came back again, which told Noah that he must have been somewhere on some kind of tree, because where else would he be if there was water everywhere? And then a couple of days later, Noah sent out the dove again, and it never came back. So Noah knew then that it was safe to come out of the boat and to let the animals go and everything. And then God made a covenant with Noah, and he made a rainbow. And you guys can always remember this story when you see a rainbow, because of God's promise to us that he will never flood the whole earth again, and he will never take out the whole creation that he has made. And we find that in Genesis. You can find this whole story in Genesis. And this is in Genesis 9:14. And God said, "When I bring clouds over the earth, and the bow is seen in the clouds, I will remember my covenant that is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the water shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it, and I will remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all that is on the earth." God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all the flesh that is on the earth." And that is such a cool thing. You can think about that whenever you see a rainbow, and you can just remember that God is remembering his covenant that he made to Noah and to us. And we can also remember through this story that it is really important to obey God, and it is really important to obey our parents, because God has put our parents in our lives, and that when we do so, that the Lord blesses those things. And yeah, so just whenever you see a rainbow, just remember God's covenant that he has made to you and me, and that he has promised that he'll never flood the whole earth again.